So good morning. Welcome to the 32nd meeting of our most national tripartite alliance. Think about that, 32 years. And we have accomplished so much in that span of time. Together we have reimagined and reinvented a relationship that was once adversarial and counterproductive. We have chosen a better path, one that recognizes the need of each partner and embraces the power of a shared vision. All of us, owners, contractors, and Boilermakers, have benefited greatly from this cooperative and more enlightened approach. And of course, the most Taft-Hartley Trust Fund we created together is our engine of change. Through it, we take on the toughest industry challenges and we craft innovative programs to address or even solve the issues of our time. The success of our programs is self-evident. A safety program that has reduced injuries by more than 90%. A welding certification program that has slashed costs by 95%. The first, and to this day, the only union-initiated workforce-wide drug screening program in the industry. And I say workforce-wide. And 98% of all tests come back clean. The first of its kind online manpower delivery system that connects owners, contractors, the union, with accurate real-time information on Boilermaker availability and qualifications. It has in it advanced penalty system, which also helps to address absenteeism and almost eliminate job hopping. And a code of conduct, the Boilermaker Code, that goes well beyond merely putting words on paper and instead fosters excellence through formal training and ongoing cultural change. A dozen other programs that enhance craft skills, leadership, and more. And you can see the representations around the room. Friends and colleagues, union brothers and sisters, we can all be proud to be part of the most national tripartite alliance, the most copied and still the best labor management cooperative organization in our industry. Thank you all for your contributions to our shared vision and our shared success. And while we are right to celebrate our achievements, we know that our efforts are never finished. Our industry continues to change, to face new economic, political, regulatory, and technological challenges. Seldom in our history have we faced a challenge more sweeping and more disruptive to our organizations than the threat of climate change. The global movement to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and restrict the use of fossil fuels reaches every corner of the civilized world. Despite President Trump's announced withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord, the wheels of change continue to shape North American power systems. Electricity generation from natural gas-fired plants, which emit half the carbon dioxide of coal-fired plants, some say, grew 19% in 2015. Last year in the United States, natural gas surpassed coal in power generation for the first time in history. Lower gas prices are changing the energy landscape. In Pennsylvania, for example, Local 13 is working simultaneously on 4 new gas-fired projects. Other lodges are likewise building new gas plants or converting coal plants to gas. Owners in the power generation industry are taking advantage of abundant, low-cost gas made possible by breakthrough developments in fracking and horizontal drilling that have opened up vast shale gas fields. While the Boilermakers are pleased to be a part of the natural gas power revolution, we know it comes at a cost to us in available man-hours as coal-fired plants are shut down or converted to gas. Well, we must and we will adapt to the new reality of a carbon-constrained world. And let me stress, as I have for some time, that the best hope to arrest climate change does not lie with a single energy source, certainly not renewables alone. And it does not lie in the fantasy of keeping fossil fuels in the ground. Oil, natural gas, and coal are not options for global prosperity. They are essential to it. The U.S. Energy Information Administration projects that by 2040, global energy consumption will rise by 48% over 2012 levels. If we accept that the world cannot live without fossil fuels, at least in our lifetimes, then we need to get busy with capturing and storing, or capturing and using, the carbon dioxide these fuels emit when burned. This is true not just in the energy sector, but in cement making, steel milling, aluminum smelting, and other energy-intensive industries. It is disappointing that President Trump has not made carbon capture, use, and storage a national priority, but it is not surprising given his reluctance to admit mankind's role in climate change. But research into CCUS goes on, independent of federal policies. We are seeing promising discoveries that will turn CO2 emissions into everyday products. And we are seeing technologies develop that may one day allow us to capture emissions in a way that is economically feasible, not just for those plants that can take advantage of advanced oil recovery, but for every fossil fuel plant and every industrial facility that emits CO2. In the meantime, power generation systems fueled by coal and gas are still responsible for nearly 2/3 of U.S. electricity generation. And we will continue to offer our owners and contractors the safest, best skilled, and most motivated craft to build and maintain these systems. However, we cannot go forward without addressing the serious man-hour reductions resulting from the drawdown in coal-fired generation. These man-hour reductions are simply not sustainable. The loss of work not only hurts a field boilermaker's wallet, it places substantial financial pressure on members' pensions and other benefits. And available work opportunities at coal-fired plants are not likely to improve in the near term. Therefore, we must ramp up our efforts to seek out work in industries and in geographical areas where we have limited or no presence. At the same time, we must expand our recruitment efforts and ensure that all boilermakers have received the best training available. Earlier this year, I announced substantial organizational changes to invigorate our recruitment and training functions. I have appointed former Local 108 business manager Tim Simmons to lead an expanded recruitment effort among all construction lodges to bring in qualified non-union welders who can be tested, trained up as needed, and promptly dispatched. I have also appointed former Local 26 business manager Jeffrey Hughes to assess our national training centers and to make necessary changes to ensure that every training facility operates at peak performance. With an unacceptable percentage of members failing weld tests, we are taking a strong look at our processes and our trainers themselves. We will review all processes and test all trainers to get back to a higher level of welder certification going forward. Now, Tim and Jeffrey will work closely together to ensure that our contractors and owners have qualified boilermakers in sufficient numbers to man any project. Now, while our primary focus is maintaining a strong and capable workforce, we recognize that it requires a market share sufficient to keep our members employed, earning a living for their families and funding their health care, pensions, and annuities. Waning opportunities in coal-fired generations means we must expand our market focus, particularly in areas like oil and gas refineries. And to that end, I am pleased to report that we have retained former Southern Company executive Kim Flowers as a consultant as we reach out to owners that do not know us or owners whose memories of us are less than positive. Kim gives us an insider perspective on the mindset and priorities of owners, which is essential to us to market our services. As you may know, our outreach to refineries has been especially effective in California under the leadership of International Vice President Tom Baca and International Representative Jim Cooksey. Labor pushed through a new law that requires a percentage of refinery workers to be graduates of an approved apprenticeship program. This not only alleviates the safety and workmanship at those refineries, but it also brings union craftsmen back into those facilities after a lengthy absence. Also in the western states, with the cooperation of our contractors and owners there, Vice President Baca has implemented a robust helper program. Because helpers do the more routine job site work, they receive lower wages than apprentices and journeymen. That makes our contractors strongly competitive with our labor competition, while allowing for existing Boilermaker journeymen to cover more work opportunities and obligations. Finally, let me say that our Western States Organizing and Recruitment Initiative promises to bring more welders into the union from across various industries. With a national welder shortage, this initiative is vital to sustain our workforce at proper levels. And with several new regional training centers under construction or planned, the Western states are poised to meet the needs of our new customers in that region. As you can see, the Boilermakers are moving forward with a variety of initiatives that we believe will build our workforce, ensure our members are trained to the highest level, and provide sufficient opportunities to retain these members. But let me be clear, these initiatives can only succeed if our signatory contractors aggressively pursue new projects in broader geographic areas and in industries that may be out of their normal target markets. We simply cannot retain quality Boilermakers if the work is not there. So today I call on our contractors to work with us and up your game with more aggressive marketing so that the Boilermaker workforce remains strong, active, and available. Before I close, I want to make a few remarks about the Boilermaker Code program. As you know, we launched the program in late 2015. Since then, MOST has conducted more than 100 training sessions, both at local lodges and at job sites. We have received tremendous feedback from members, contractors, and owners. I think that speaks to the inherent value in a code of conduct that is not just a paper handout, but a formal training program and the driving force for cultural change. I congratulate MOST Administrator Skipper Branscombe, who developed the classroom presentation in cooperation with Wide Awake Films, the code trainers who have done an outstanding job traveling the country and sharing their knowledge and experience, and the MOST representatives who practically live on the road, providing the trainers with technical support. Our goal is to achieve 100% member training in the Boilermaker Code within 3 years or sooner, if at all possible. Now, that will be an impressive milestone, but of course the code will continue to be taught to new members as remedial instruction. We have called for and brought on several new trainers. We have asked these retired Boilermakers to help us do more in a shorter period of time to get all of our craftsmen and women trained in this critical and now mandatory program. Of course, as we move forward, the code may be expanded and adjusted to meet new realities of our industries. So finally, I want to acknowledge a few special people. Now, John Erickson is retiring this year after many years of service as NACB Executive Director. John, you have been a mainstay of our alliance as well as a good friend. Thank you for many contributions, and please don't be a stranger. You are always welcome here. John. Is he up here? Yeah. Now, our new NACB Executive Director is someone who is a familiar face in our industry and is a longtime contributor to our alliance. I know we all welcome Ronnie Traxler to his new position and look forward to working closely with him as we continue our vital work here. Ronnie? Ronnie, thanks for all of you do for our industry and our Tripartite Alliance. We're also losing NACB President Greg Perdon, who has stepped down from his leadership post with our contractors and for his role as chairman of the MOST Board of Trustees. Greg, who unfortunately could not be with us today, has done a superb job in his time as president, and I sincerely appreciate his cooperation and friendship. Now, just give him a hand. Maybe he can hear it somewhere. Taking on the responsibility of NACB president is Bob Gabriziak. Bob? Bob, we're certainly glad to have you step up and fill this very important role. Your leadership is much appreciated as we continue to work together to further our mutual interests and support the tripartite effort. Now, let me also offer a warm welcome to Mike Bray, our new chairman of the MOST Board of Trustees. Mike, we are facing some exciting and challenging times, so your support is certainly vital as we go forward. I know we all look forward to working with you in your new capacity. Mike. Now, one last note before I end. We've all seen the severe devastation of this hurricane season has brought to Texas, Louisiana, Florida, and especially to Puerto Rico and its citizens. While we have contributed as an organization to various AFL-CIO relief funds and beefed up our own, the Boilermakers are now joining with the AFL-CIO to send teams of skilled craftsmen and supplies to Puerto Rico this Wednesday for at least 2 weeks. Boilermakers are sending 6 welders led by Director Jeffrey Hughes. They will be equipped with, and they've asked for 13 welders. I think some of the other crafts are sending those. I think they're sending 200 skilled craftsmen of all trades, and United is chartering the plane for them, so it's quite an operation. They will be equipped with satellite phones, walkie-talkies, first aid kits, and other supplies to help with the relief effort there. Of course, their assignment will be welding, though we are not sure yet on what, probably to help open ports or perhaps help with restoring power. I'm sure we all wish them luck in their efforts to help the citizens of Puerto Rico. Now, with that, let me wish all of you a productive and enjoyable conference. Thank you all for being a part of the MOST Tripartite Alliance. I know we have another great conference lined up for you, so let's get on with it. Thank you very much.